So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again. It's Action Auction Day 8 today, and it's time to play bold. As you can see in front of me, Faf Duplessis there smiling brightly, and his Royal Challengers Bangalore, one of the most popular team in the IPL circuit, yet to win an IPL trophy, and the troll goes on. But this team, you all believe, has the potential, plays really well. But I don't know what to blame. Is it the luck? Is it what? I don't know. But eventually, they don't win the milestone. They were the closest in the year 2016, 2009. But that's what I said, that they couldn't win the IPL trophy. And I'm not just alone. You might still wonder, am I alone speaking about this side? No, this is such a popular side. There has to be guests. And the two experienced guests wearing the RCB jerseys, not afraid to say that we will definitely make it the next year. And let's welcome one of them. It's Rohan, followed by Kushank. Welcome both of you to the show. Firstly, Rohan, a very popular
Yeah,
face. Everyone knows you in the live shows. How does it feel to represent the Royal Challengers Bangalore today?
splendid, man. I mean, home city, RCB. I know, as you said, so near yet so far. You forgot to add 2011 also, one more year where we lost in the
Oh,
final to
yes,
CS.
yes, yeah.
I mean, end of the day, yeah, it's a very popular franchise for various reasons. But it's high time. I think the potential is delivered at the right time.
It's true that. And the team, as well, as I said before, the team looks good on paper. It's what something or the other happens in the field. Kushank, first time, welcome to the action auction of 5th umpire. How does it feel to be part of this, firstly?
Yep, an absolute pleasure and representing a team that I really fell in love with a few years ago, and it is an absolute pleasure to be here for sure.
And is that King Kohli the reason behind?
One of those, yes. I mean, obviously, when you talk about RCB, it is King Kohli, but then King Kohli and ABD, Chris Gill at the time as well. It's a pleasure to watch this team play, and it's been ever since. Even though we don't have a trophy, but still enjoy every bit of the action that they have.
So how confident? I'll just reflect back to no heartbreaks, but how confident were you after the first 10 overs during the run chase in 2016?
Come on, let's not relive this. That one still hurts. I'll be very honest, but we've got to move on. That was our best chance for sure, but the way the top three played in that season was absolutely bizarre. To be very honest, you don't really see that happen too often. But we've got to move on, and we've got to make sure that we kind of build that kind of environment again, and we can replicate that in this season or the seasons ahead.
Absolutely, the show must goes on. It's what Kushan says, and definitely we'll get the show on. Royal Challengers Bangalore. Here's a squad for both of you guys. There are so many popular names, but I'll start with this player. I missed. I think RCB team missed him last season. Rohan, how does it feel good to welcome back Rajat Patidar in the squad?
Sorry, Will Jacks, huh?
Rajat Patidar.
Rajat, oh, huge man. I mean, first of all, to start with domestic talent, he was in form. We were expecting high. Just before the IPL started, he had a very good Syed Mushtaq Ali also, and unfortunate injury. I think because of that, the whole balance got upset. And end of the day, we had to play some bits and pieces players, man. I mean, they're not really what do you call the starting 11 kind of players, but we had to make do with it. That kind of affected us badly. But Rajat Patidar, I mean, he's also in the Indian team scheme of things as well. So that shows his class that is there. And he's got a lot of time as I see. Sometimes who bats against quick bowling, you look at that. I mean, stats etc. is secondary for me, but the quality of batsmanship that he has against pace bowling, I think that defines his skill. I feel, and also importantly, I think another thing which RCB generally used to lack was at high pressure games someone delivering. I'm talking domestic players. You got that fantastic 100 at
Yeah.
the what is it, eliminator, I think, against LSD, quality knock in it. That was, I think, that shows that he's ready for the step up to the next level. So Rajat Patitar back is huge news for RCB and its fans.
Absolutely, and that's a big, big miss what RCB had last season. But this one is a bonus. Nailed number three is what I should say because we have seen Faf and Kohli opening in the T20 formats, and they have been pretty good with the experience. But I'll come to the next couple of players that have been retained, and I'm sure RCB has looked into something. They have got enough game time last season as well. Prabhu Desai and Mahipal Lamrod. What do you think, Kushank, is the reason behind they have been retained, and what roles do you expect from anything different from what they did last season?
Yep, Lomror did show glimpses of what he can do in last few games of the tournament. Can bowl as well, so he's a utility player, good in the field as well, a well-rounded player, a left-handed option. That's an added benefit as well. But Prabhu Desai, I'm not too certain where he can fit in the team. Obviously, a swashbuckling player, he can play those quick fire knocks. But I felt that Anuj Rawat was someone who played that role towards the end of the season in place of DK. And I don't really see Prabhu Desai fitting into this team at the moment. But Mahipal Lomror, sure, I would have said that if that Cameron Green trade would not have happened, because an all-rounder player, similar roles. So again, might be hard for both of them to find a place in the team at the moment. But maybe at some stages, if there's some injury or there is a pitch particularly that suits a particular batter, then maybe we might see either of them play.
Yes, absolutely. But Kushank said a little bit of Anuj Rawat. I would have come to Rohan about that. Anuj Rawat or Dinesh Karthik, who would be your choice considering the team you are looking into?
See, experience wise, you should go for DK, man. I mean, that guy, he knows how to finish things. End of the day, IPL is a premier tournament. You need experience out of it, right? The successful teams like MI, CSK, they back experience. That's why they are those five titles, right? We can't go two steps back. I mean, Anuj Rawat, he's mainly a top order batter. I mean, that's where he has played for Delhi and is even good innings also for RCB were at the top of the order. But then towards the fag end, because of the balance of the team that we were in, he had to do just one of good knock at the back end of the innings. But you would like to play players where they're comfortable in their positions, right? So that's where I feel DK at the finishing role suits you more because he has that experience and he's pretty street smart, man. I mean, end of the day, that's what wins you games, right? Sometimes you need to be a little bit multi-skill, those scoop shots, etc. Another Rawat sometimes is pretty much in the V kind of a player yet. So DK has that experience to get through the tougher situations, I feel.
So you're still backing the experience of DK
Yeah.
ahead of a young person like Anuj Rawat. Fair point to that. Kushank, RCB's batting has always been a firepower, but the bowling is this weakness which has always lost you crucial games. And I must reflect to the fact that last season it was the game at Lucknow where things heated up at Bangalore, where you should have won the game, but it was the bowling that cost you the game. These kind of situations. Looking into this, I think Mohammad Siraj, Reece Topley, a little bit of Karan Sharma, a little bit of Akashdeep and Vijay Kumar. Not that threatening, but do you think a lot of homework needs to be done in the auction?
Yep. Obviously, it has been the case for past few years now. The bowling has not stepped up. The batters put 200 plus runs on the board and they get chased in 17, 18 overs, which is not a good sign, obviously. Mohammad Siraj is my only certainty, if I'm being very honest. Reece Topley, very injury prone. Himanshu Sharma, you look at Vaishak, you look at Akashdeep, all players who have not played enough cricket at that highest level. And then you've got Karan Sharma. He's got that experience that could be the second possibility for us in that bowling lineup. But a lot needs to be done in that bowling lineup because the ground that we play at, obviously, half of our games, obviously not easy on the bowlers any which ways because of the short boundaries. And then to have the quality of players that you have in the other opposition is obviously a tough prospect. A lot of work needs to be done, and I'm hoping for a few picks that I have mentioned to you as well to be bought in the auction and probably bolster the bowling lineup.
Yeah, you have mentioned we'll definitely come on to that. While you were speaking and you were disappointed about the bowling, in the other hand, Rohan's reaction wasn't pleasing as well. Rohan, you have to add any point to the bowling weakness of RCB?
And that has been our Achilles heel for the past whatever years that we have performed or underperformed, if I may have to add. There was a good trade they have. Mayank Dagar, experienced domestic left arm spinner. I think that can add a little bit of some potency because that's where we have lacked because we let go of Hasaranga
Shahbaz
there.
Ahmed.
Karan
Okay.
Sharma, I know all those lucky mascot things and all end of the day, but doesn't really fit in too much. He has the experience, but playing consistent cricket at that level. IPL, I think, has been missing for him for last 3 4 seasons. I think that's kind of a vacant spot. I feel Mayank Dagger can be a support bowler, but we are missing that lead spinner who can be the effectiveness and someone to complement someone like a Mohammad Siraj, as Kushank said, a certainty, but you need a one more spearhead along with him.
So I heard the last podcast I did was of Sunrisers Hyderabad, and we were discussing about this player, Mayank Dagar to RCB and Shabaz Ahmed to Sunrisers Hyderabad. And the SRH fans were delighted with getting Shabaz Ahmed to SRH. What's your thing? Was is this a good move to get in somebody like Mayank Dagar from SRH in place
Just
of
to add,
Shabaz Ahmed?
today Vijay Hazare Trophy, Shabas scored a fantastic 100. I know
Yeah,
Bengal
yeah,
lost, but
yeah.
that shows the kind of spirit that guy plays with. I mean, whenever Shabas was in the field, excellent fielder, man, gun fielder, gives his 100%. I think, yeah, unfortunate for us, but Mayan Dagger, a slightly better bowler than Shabas, I feel. Shabas, more good all round player.
Okay, and there's a fan comment says Arshin Kulkarni
Too young.
in RCB says Rohan. Any comments to that one? You're saying too young. Anything?
I mean, that's the fault I think we generally make. Under 19 stars at their level of cricket, the space at which they face, etc., is completely different to top level flight cricket. Yes, they have the talent, maybe a couple of years in domestic cricket where they can get exposed to the strength and weaknesses, where people will find them out a bit. I think that's when you can bring in these players. I think still a long way to go. I think if any of these guys were picked, they can be in the squad and just learn from the experience once and then get a go. I feel Arshin Kulkarni, fantastic potential, but still a long, long way to go, man.
Absolutely. And Priyam says undoubtedly they'll run after some pacers because they have to make that department stronger. Another RCBN fan saying the same thing. We'll move on to the release players. Um, so many players released, but I'll speak about the experience. Firstly, Kushank, no surprises about Kedar Jadhav, Finn Allen, in the top row basically. No surprises of that, or what did Michael Bracewell release surprised you a bit?
Not really, to be honest, because the kind of players that we are looking at in the bowling department, Michael Bracewell again a utility player, an all-round player, but you obviously got just four overseas spots to fill, and two of them are certainties in Faf and Maxi. So we've got to look at out-and-out bowlers at the moment, even if you're looking at those overseas slots. So I'm not really surprised with any of those release players, but just going back to the DK point, I would have wanted him to be released. I beg to differ here with Rohan because I just felt that at the age where he is, I think his prime is past him. He had that one good season made to the Indian team, played well, went to the World Cup, underperformed there, and he hasn't been the same since. A couple of his mistakes did cost us that LSG game as well in the end, that keeping mistake, and it proved to be the difference in the end. So I feel that Anuj Rawat, the young talent, with let's look at the long-term perspective, he will be a better prospect. So I'd add a couple of players to the release players list rather than have someone in the squad right now. I think this is a more than good list that we have.
All right, you're saying so. And I'll come to the second Rona, no brainers about the rest. But Harshal Patel and Wanindu Hasaranga, Rohan, your points are done, especially Hasaranga. Oh, did he balance the team a lot? But he was injury prone last season. But you could have backed him, is it or not?
Could have backed him, but thing is, the Hasaranga that plays for Sri Lanka, he bats a little bit better. I feel in the IPL, his batting was looking way out of sorts, man. I mean, batting at number 6 or 7, it looked like our tail was starting there itself, right? So I mean, we couldn't back anybody else. So the top order would take a bit more responsibility and bat longer and restrain their stroke making. I felt Hasaranga also 10 crore, man. I mean, that's a budget that factors in along with why he was released. Maybe same thing I'll add with someone like Harshal. Popal Patel, he needs certain conditions to strike, like those slow, low pitches, maybe in a Chennai
Yeah.
where we had those IPL leg where the first half of so was in Chennai they played and he did well, but as soon as they moved to a truer pitches, I think he got exposed and none of those slow ones were working and it was a fodder for the batsman. So in terms of the value for money they added, I think that's where the release would have happened. So in case if any of these people were looking, they may want to be bought back at a lesser price, I feel.
Okay. So here continue the question to you. Any of these players would you want at the cheaper budget if you want to? Who will it be? I'll give you time as well, Kushan, to think of it. After Rohan, I'll come back to you. Any player you want to buy at a cheaper budget, looking into your balance of your squad? Any or
I, I think you missed someone like Josh Hazelwood here, right?
Josh Hazelwood? Yeah, he will. I'm sorry, Sudhir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
he is
Josh is
out
someone
there as
again
well.
who did reasonably well for us during the power play as well as the back end. From his stint from CSK, I think he improved a lot there. His T20 skills, I always felt he was a bit grey in his T20 bowling skills, but that CSK stint improved him, and at RCB, I think that got better. I think if I know there's a theory that he may not be available to the first half of the IPL day, etc. I'm
Yeah.
not sure how much punt RCB management will like to take in buying him back at a lesser rate, maybe. But I am pretty sure he's pretty much high on other franchises or to-do list as well.
Yeah, definitely. Kushank, any additions, subtractions for you?
Not Josh Hazelwood particularly. Again, a bowler bowls with hard lanes on a pitch like this, he'll get found out. As much as I want to say Wayne Parnell, he was really, really good for us in the power play. If I'm not wrong, got us early wickets. But then that overseas spot, just I do not want to waste that. Really, if I look at this list, no one other than Harshal Patel really comes to mind. He has done well in the past. If we get pitches, let's say we had the pitch against Australia, that recent game in
Yeah.
Bangalore. It was a relatively slower pitch, not that easy to
Yeah.
bat on. We've got pitches like those, then probably Harshal Patel does get into the game a bit and he can then use those slow balls and skills to good effect.
Yeah, I think that was one of the pitch, one off pitch of Chinnaswamy. You generally don't see those kind of pitches in Chinnaswamy, and I don't think so. You will get to see in the IPL as well. We move on to the squad depth, very important for all the teams. 19th players released, retained, 11 players released. That's not a problem. Budget of 23 crores only from the released players you could, because I think it would have been 39 until unless you got Cameron Green. So he has taken a lot of price tag from this one. Six available slots only with three overseas. Rohan, if you're going to the auction table with this money, with only six players to buy, including three overseas, what would be your target? Get three good players in the budget of 20 crore and look into three backups for the other Indians or anything else?
Yeah, I think you put it right there. I mean, first up, as Kushank pointed out, we'll be going after some quality bowling. One spearhead to support Siraj, as well as one quality spinner to get you those wickets in the mid overs as well. And apart from that, maybe a good finisher, hard hitter, like some kind of those West Indian guys who can get there to finish at the back end to support someone like DK. That will be the main strategy, and of course the backup little Indians here and there to fill your bits and pieces flat, because there's always that impact player rule there. So you'd like to fit in as and when required. Those, it's like a based on the conditions, a spinner or a fast bowler or a batter there who can strike a few. I think that will be the main target areas for us.
Okay, Kushang, over to you.
Yeah, pretty similar. I mean, three of them have to be about 5-6 crore bowlers that we need to buy, particularly, and then obviously a few fringe players, maybe in a very unforeseen circumstance. If you need a player, then you have those uncapped Indian players that you're looking at, but majorly it has to be bowlers.
Okay, we'll definitely look into that. Fair point, both of you, targeting big players early on and then fill the slots with some backups. Here's the overseas players. I remained quiet when we were talking about the release players. I'll tell you why. Is that you have Faf, you have Will Jacks, you have Green in that new addition, Glenn Maxwell, and Reece Topley. So just when we were asking Rohan about anybody you want to get back into the squad, he said about Josh Hazelwood. And Kushank said, I did not want this kind of an Australian, it's someone else. And you have released David Willey and Wayne Parnell, though you have a Reece Topley. Why not go for a Mitchell Stark? Is my first question for Rohan.
A budget, man, basically. 23 crores we are left. How much will you spend on the stack? I mean, if you do what we saw in the WPL, DC just burnt everything on Sutherland there. So you don't want to end up
Yeah.
like that. Going for stack, I know he's also a prime commodity there. How much will you spend on him? I mean, the budget that, as Kushank said, we'd like to go for a 5-6 crore bowlers. Two of them, basically, that's what we would like. A Stark and all will be 10 crore plus easily. That lead to half our budget straight away. So we may end up and to add on, that guy's injury habit is another thing. So all those things, I mean,
Injury,
he was
availability.
a decade ago, right? So again, all those question mark will come into play. As it is, we have a pretty fragile squad there, and you
Yeah.
don't want another touch me not kind of a player there. So Stark, as much as I wish, if we had extra budget without that green trade that happened, maybe we would have got thought of Stark.
Okay, but also, as I was about to say, that availability is a concern. If you want to go big on a player, in Stark, we have
Yeah.
seen before as well. Before the tournament start, he has withdrawn that one. So he has, that will break the balance of your side. So I don't want to do that. Maybe they might go for Travis Head. Is just a gut feeling, says Priyam. Kushank, for you, Travis Head, would you go for if you want to spend around 8 to 10 crores? If yes, then where do you fit him in?
No, exactly. We cannot fit him in. There's about 4 or 5 openers we already have. I mean, that is why I was really, really baffled with that Cameron Green trade. I did not
Yeah,
understand the
even I did.
behind it, and it's wasted a overseas slot. We've got 17 crores off our budget. You get two good bowlers in that. Come on now, but that's happened. It's in the past, and as far as the overseas players are concerned, I would still go after Stark. To be very honest, desperate times call for desperate measures. So we need a good bowler, and the experience that he has. I mean, you genuinely can't look past him. One was Gerald Coetzee that I had in mind, but again, a relatively inexperienced, but with his pace, he can travel a lot as well. A genuine wicket taker, though. So there are quite a few good picks that we can have in this auction, but just the management needs to apply their brains for once. Please get a few good bowlers, and we have a habit of overspending on certain players. We have historically done that. Kyle Jamieson, Vanindu Hasaranga, Timal Mills, and all of that stuff. A
Yeah.
couple of good games against India, and then we end up buying them for 14, 15 crores, and they heavily underperform. So just need to have a bit of discipline at the table and have some smart buys this time around.
Absolutely. And Rohan, coming to you, it just like Kushank said, he did not like the point of Cameron Green being taken into the RCB side was 17 crores. Is his bowling an addition as to why RCB has looked into? Because RCB has always struggled as sixth bowler option. They did not. They have gone for somebody like Lomrod or somebody else in the top five. They thought of a six bowling option if one of the bowler gets an off day. Is he the reason why you have spent extra amount of money to for Cameron Green, or is it behind the scenes of helping Hardik Pandya come to Mumbai Indians?
I think that last point adds more weightage to what you exactly wanted to say. I mean, that's what I wanted to commit to. It's just that Mumbai Indians and Ambani strike, right? So someone had to be the bait, and we happened to be at the what do you call neighborhood and just got caught in that whatever melee was happening, you can say. But anyways, jokes apart, what does Cameron Green bring into the setup? If I feel, as you said, yes, a six bowling option, but also power hitter. He has enjoyed Indian conditions like we've seen in the past. He can tonk the big shot, but he's mainly a top order batter. I don't know how well
Yeah,
he can fit it in case we have to bat in the middle, or one of Virat or Faf may have to drop down. But will that not make everyone drop one slot low? I mean, that's also something that will be a headache for all of us, because end of the day, successful teams want settled batting orders, right? So all this jigging up and down stuff may break the rhythm of batters, and may give a what do you call not quite a good result to begin with, because by the time we settle down, maybe half the tournament will have been ended, and all those permutation combinations and depending on other results will happen. So it's very important how we use him and where we use him during the power play, or maybe as an impact player, or how, not sure. But make sure you make the optimum use of this trade. Try and be smart. I mean, that's unlike RCB to sound, but make sure do something better with Cam Green.
yeah, absolutely. And I
Just
think,
to, just to
yeah,
add a
go
point
on.
there, I mean, Cameron Green, obviously, we're talking about the 17 crores. If that would not have happened, you go for Travis Head, you can go for Rachin
Yeah.
Ravindra, class players at the top of the order. If you need a player at the top of the order like a Cameron Green, a swashbuckling player, why not Travis Head? Why not Rachin Ravindra? Or even if you're not looking at a top order batsman, why not go for two good bowlers for that price? I genuinely don't understand this trade. I've been really, really pissed off with whatever's happened here, because we've gifted MI Hardik Pandya, we've gifted him 2 crore rupees on top of that, and we've gotten an overseas player which we, in my opinion, do not need. So I genuinely don't
You cannot
understand
fit
what's
him
happening.
in the balance of the squad, is what you're basically
Exactly.
saying.
It does not really make sense to me.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely. And
basically MI owes us something, man.
Ah,
could be, because just like Kushank said, you could have definitely gone for a Rachin Ravindra because he can bat at the top, he can bat in the middle order overs as well.
Local boy,
You
man.
And he can also offer you the bowling as well, a left arm off spinner.
Yeah.
So could be. But anyways, we'll move on to the five picks in the auction is what the topic is, and Rohan has his five picks and Kushang has his. I'll come to Kushang first. There are many reasons behind that because I want to know the five picks Rohan has made. Very domestic authorized picks is what Rohan has gone for. Kushang, over to you. Karthik Tyagi, understand him, and Adil Rashid is my first question. Reason behind that.
Yeah, we need a lead spinner, and we've released one into Asaranga. Adil Rashid, obviously a world-class spinner. So the thought process behind this was obviously we have to get a good spinner into the team, and Adil Rashid seemed to be like a good choice. As Rohan mentioned earlier, Stark will be a hot commodity. It might end up going for 12, 13, maybe more crores. So we might not get him in the end. Obviously, we'll have to try and get him if we get him for a lower price. But Adil Rashid's main reason was we need a lead spinner in the absence of Barindu Asaranga, who heavily underperformed in the last couple of seasons, and that was why I picked him because he's obviously proven his credentials over the past few years with England.
Yeah, and is this also the reason leg spinner and Chinnaswamy is a perfect combination, says Priyam. Also, yes, you can continue, Kushang. I'll come to you of the reason of Mitchell Stark, which is a no-brainer, basically. Karthik Tyagi, just to boost the death overs, is what you're thinking?
Yeah, because we have Siraj who will probably bowl at least two up top, not if not three. If they're getting a lot of swing, then he might bowl three up top as well. So we need someone who can bowl at the death. We've lacked that bowler for quite some time, and he's done well in the past few years as well. Karthik Tyagi, a way improved bowler, he's got that pace as well, and I think he'll be a good fit. And as I said, Mitchell Stark, I've already mentioned. I so direly want him, but I know that there'll be huge amount of competition
Yeah.
for him in the auction. So the fact that I've picked three overseas players was obviously a bit of a bizarre thing. And now that I look at it, because we ideally have just one spot to fill if we do not play Reece Topley, that is. So it's got to be one of these three that we get. Daniel Mitchell would have again fit that Cameron Green kind of a role. I just can't get over
That
why
was
we've
my
done
next
that.
question. You went with Daryl Mitchell. Where do you fit him in?
Yep, exactly. If again he another kind of a player who can give you a few overs in the middle, if you're looking at it, a Cameron Green kind of a player, but then ideally you'd want to go for bowlers more towards the first three picks than to Daryl Mitchell. Daryl Mitchell was I had Slash Kudzia, but Kudzia, I just do not have enough faith that he'll be able to perform at a stage such as that. With the pace and the shorter boundaries would be my bit of a problem. So Daryl Mitchell is
Exactly.
probably bottom of my list, but if at all we don't get, let's say, Stark or Adil Rashid or Karthik Tyagi, we need someone who can, kind of give us a couple of overs, and then we can play, let's say, Himanshu Sharma and Mayank Dagar as the two lead spinners, and then have then have Mohammad Siraj and another Indian bowler who can play there. So, in the worst possible case, Daryl Mitchell would be a pick.
Okay, because like you said about Gerald Kodzi, I think in a small ground like Jinnaswamy, raw pace, you can expect a lot of half centuries in his bowling figures, is what I feel. So I am not too keen about Gerald Kodzi representing RCB. Rohan, coming to you. Before that, your fellow friend is having a statement out here. Letting go Chahal has been the worse than a
Don't remind
nightmare
us,
of
man.
Deepu, he says, don't remind us. So don't even try to bring that topic behind after the show as well. Coming to you, Rohan, Karthik Tyagi, no brainers, the only common pick you guys have. But I'll start with Lockie Ferguson first, and then I'll give it over to you the reasons behind these three players. Chindan Gandhi, I've heard a little bit of him, but Lockie Ferguson, reasons behind that.
Reasons mainly because RCB struggles at that fag end of the innings. That's where matches are won. Ferguson is an excellent Yorker, 150 plus guy, can rattle a batsman because generally at Chinnaswamy can be two paced at times. If you have a guy who's bowling quick, I mean, we saw what someone like Umran Malik did for SRH when he was at his damn good peak, but unfortunately he's falling off the radar now. But what you can do at pace is rattle batsman, and that can pick you wickets as well as help the guy at the other end as well. Someone as Ferguson has the experience and has those good Yorkers and knuckleballs and stuff like that, which can be very useful at a condition like Chinnaswamy Stadium there. So I feel Ferguson will be a better pick because of his death bowling. Same with Karthik Tyagi, as Kushank pointed out, good death bowling skills, has the guts to go ahead and back himself. That's the kind of bowlers you need at Chinnaswamy. Just what Chahal was there. He had that heart. He didn't mind getting hit a couple of times, but he could get you those wickets. End of the day, wickets will win you tournaments, man. I mean, that's what we need. Someone like a Ferguson there to support Siraj's power play bowling. Ferguson in the death will balance it out better.
Okay, you're saying Lockie Ferguson. I just said Gerald Coetzee will go for runs, raw pace. Lockie Ferguson as well, raw pace. If you're given a choice between the two of them, both of them are even handy with the bat just to consider as well. Who would
No,
you go
again,
for?
what I feel is experience. Ferguson's slightly more experienced. He can handle those situations better than a young Gerald Coetzee. We saw in the World Cup when the going got tough, he kept on leaking 25, 30 and over. Whereas Ferguson can hold it back a little bit and get to those wickets, I feel. So slight edge for Ferguson because of experience ahead of Coetzee.
Okay, before I go to the next players, Kushan, yes, no, maybe agree with what Rohan said about Fergie.
Again, similar to Gerald Goodyear's situation as you've mentioned, but again, he does have a little bit of experience. He can use those slower balls well as well.
He's a
Goodyear, we
good
haven't seen.
knuckleball.
Yeah, he has a good knuckleball. We haven't seen enough of Goodyear bowling those variations. So, if at all a choice is between Lockie and Goodyear, obviously look to go for Lockie Ferguson.
Okay, okay. And you can continue, Rohan, starting with Vashuki Kaushik. Who is he and what's his role?
Local lad, the triple V that Karnataka is bowling quartet is, I mean, Vidut Kaverappa, I know he's at Punjab there, fantastic. Hope he gets a game this season. But Vasuki Kaushik as well as Vaishak Vijay Kumar, we saw in the last season as well. He impressed bowling his death over skills. But Vasuki Kaushik is mainly a new ball bowler, can be very good swing. Vaishak. Yeah, Vaishak's skill sets is different. I mean, he keeps experimenting a little bit. He's your proper Harshal Patel kind of a guy, right? He keeps bowling those knuckle balls, slow ones, slow bouncers, wide yorkers. A modern day T20 bowler, you can say. But Vasuki Kaushik is your good new ball bowler up front. At Chinnaswamy, we've seen it does swing up front a little bit. So in
Yep.
case Siraj's couple of overs have to be held back, Vasuki Kaushik as an impact player can be very useful up front at Bangalore or as at certain places in north of India where there is some swing in offer. Kaushik can be a very good bowler there.
Okay, and you're going for Chintal Gandhi. You already have a leg spinner like Karan Sharma. Reasons behind?
Chintal Gandhi is slightly different. He's a bit more like your Ravi Bishnoi kind of a mold. A lot of
Speedy
googly
type of
bowler
bowler.
than leggy mainly. Chintal Gandhi has been around the circuit a lot. He's been doing those training at various IPL franchises, the trials that happen. Chintal Gandhi has been plying his trade everywhere. So Chintal Gandhi can be a X factor. I feel you need those one or two guys where everybody's not heard of him, suddenly comes in and chips you at least the starting of the tournament, picks you wickets. At a place like Chinnaswamy, some X factor can be helpful, is what I felt, and Chintal Gandhi kind of fit that bill for me.
Okay, and the last player is what you have picked, and I want to
Manoj
know about
Kumar,
it.
people who are fond of Karnataka cricket, especially in the local domestic league that we have, the Maharaja Trophy that's called now, he was the emerging player of the tournament. So he's not played for Karnataka yet, but that guy, medium pacer, not quite quick at the 125 kph maybe, but he can bowl those tough overs. He's the kind of a guy who asks the ball to be given to him. He was the man of the final as well. Defended just 10 odd runs in the final over too against some quality batsmen. So he has that. He's still 18, 19, I think, and decent all rounder. Can hit a big ball there. Batting at number 6 or 7 can give that little bit of impetus down the order. Again, a kind of an impact player that I'm looking at. And we need some local players, man. End of the day, it's you need to promote local
Yeah,
talent, and a young talent like Manoj Kumar can only boost RCB and its fans.
absolutely. And before I move on to the next slide, I have Deepu saying that if given an option, will RCB buy back Josh Hazelwood back in the auction? Rohan, first to you, then I'll come to Kushank.
If he's available for the entire one, I definitely go for him. But I'm not sure of it, how much he'll cost now, because he's also in the high list, the probability of those 10 crore kind of guy. But Pritham, I think you forgot one guy which Kushang mentioned. Even I was very close to pick him, the Lord himself, Lord Shardul
Shardul
Thakur.
Thakur.
I mean, he's just the kind of all-rounder balance that will at number 6 or 7 can give you that impetus that's required. I mean, he had a very good game against us playing for KKR, which I think RCB almost had won that game, but
And
his
he didn't
50
got
odd
him.
runs has turned it around for KKR. So Lord Shardul Thakur also will be a prime commodity.
Okay, Kushank, to you. Would you get back Josh Hazelwood if required?
I'd say no. I gave my reasons earlier as well. On a ground like that with the shorter boundaries, he's a kind of bowler who hits the length consistently. And again, on pitches, let's say Chennai pitches or a relatively slower pitch, he might still be very effective, but you consistently hit that length to get found out on a Chinnaswamy pitch. And that is exactly why he did not perform as well as we wanted him to in the past few years. And I would then not go for him. If at all I'm looking for an Australian bowler, which I've not mentioned here, Pat Cummins could be a prime commodity as well. Again, he can use the slow balls well, a very seasoned bowler. So not Josh Hazelwood, I'd have Stark or Cummins ahead of him if RCB are to go for an Australian bowler.
One option between Cummings and Shardul Thakur. Choice is yours.
Shardul Thakur, hands down,
Okay.
because I want that one overseas slot that we have to be maximized, and I don't think Cummins provide a huge amount of utility as compared to a Shardul Thakur. He does a similar job. Shardul will use the slow balls, wide yorkers, and he probably has a better capability with the bat as compared to a Cummins, if I'm not wrong. And that overseas slot can then be a Stark or an Adil Rashid, in my opinion.
Okay. Cummings is if Cummings is hearing this, he will be like, "What wrong did I play at the Wankhede to help Maxwell or in the World Cup semi-final?" Rohan, coming to you. Shardul Thakur
Yeah.
or Pat Cummings?
Shardul, man. I mean, comments again. The budget constraint will be there. I mean, I'm pretty sure one of GT or KKR maybe are targeting him. So Shardul will fit in the budget that we have, I feel, and also as you said, an Indian player. So that will balance out a bit better. We need a overseas fast bowler who can bit more. Shardul and Cummins are pretty much similar. So we'll like to go for someone else.
Okay, fair point to that. We'll move on to the next one. That's a rapid fire question for both of you. 30 seconds time. The first question is for Rohan. So this question is: the team on paper is always strong for RCB. What do you think lacks for them to win big games? Here's a question. Your time starts now.
Mainly it's always been the bowling that's been a weakness, I feel, and also what at times happens is over dependence on the top order. Suddenly the top order is back in the pavilion, and we don't know what to do with the lower order and the middle order guys. So that kind of always has been our Achilles heel, and going with that, we don't sometimes adapt or read the conditions properly, and with more rigid at times. I think that also has been a problem. If this management under Andy Flower can rectify those areas, I think we'll have a better chance.
Okay, you have been on time and you have said it very, very well. Gushang, over to you. Your question, and that is there you go. How important is Mohammad Siraj for RCB leading the bowling attack for his team? Over to you. Your time starts now.
Yeah, Mohammad Siraj obviously huge. Again, the first couple of overs, if it starts to swing, he'll be there for us to pick up those early wickets. And at the death, we need good bowlers, and he's one of those seasoned bowlers. He's played with India for quite a bit of time now, and he is the leader of this pack now. We've groomed him over the years. Virat Kohli has shown great faith in him, and he will be the leader of this pack again this season. The couple of overs in the power play and then couple at the death will be huge. His contribution for this team now.
And obviously, I agree with that. And do you think he is one of the main players to be retained for the next year's mega auction?
I think yes, because we still do not know what Kohli's plans will be. Faf, I think, will not be retained given the age, and we'll be looking at a younger captain. Siraj probably, Virat is obviously up there, and if at
Maxwell.
all we have plans, yes, exactly. Maxwell, Faf, I think, will be released. So these three would be the main three players that we'll be looking at.
Rohan, over to you. Same place.
Yeah, definitely agree. I mean, Siraj again, quality bowler, has had success in all three formats of the games currently, and he's a wicket-taking bowler, prime important factor in balancing of the side. So, and he's also used to the conditions pretty well. So we like to stick with it.
Okay, fair point to that. And moving on to the last slide, that is the predicted playing 11. This is my predicted playing 11. This is what I think. And we'll come to that. Unfortunately, I couldn't give the overseas icon to Faf du Plessis. So it's three overseas players in this playing 11. What's your take on this one? I'll come to Kushank first. No slot for Daryl Mitchell is what we said before as well. But is number six a too deep of a position for Cameron Green because you are completely frustrated with this pick? But there's no other option. You see Cameron Green playing. What's your verdict on the top six?
I mean, the players that you've picked, 9 players, I had them on my sheet as well. The order was a bit different. That will be Kohli's decision. Number one, does he want to open? Does he want to play at number three? If he's playing three, I think Cameron Green opens with Faf and Kohli goes three, Patidar goes four, and Maxwell plays five. Anuj, the role that he played last season, he'll play that. The last 2 3 overs, he'll try to get a few quick runs for us. Uh, Otherwise, if Kohli's opening, I'll just put Cameron Green before after Kohli, and everyone moves down a spot. That is all that I'll do. He'll have to play higher up the order, Cameron Green. I don't think he'll be playing number six or number seven. Too low a number for him, and I don't think he'll have the impact that we're looking for in him. Obviously, we're looking for some quick runs and a couple of overs from him. He'll play three or open. Patidar will be four, Maxi will be five, Anuj will be six, or DK, whoever plays. And Siraj, obviously, a short bowler. Mayank Dagar, I think Himanshu Sharma would be one player who might get a lot more game time as compared to Karan Sharma. He played one game, that last game last season, and he's kind of that mystery spinner that we have. And I think he might get a good amount of game time this season. Karan Sharma may or may not, depending upon the kind of conditions we're playing in.
So you're sticking to Anuj Rawat is what I have seen as well. You're going him with the finishing role, which he has done before as well, over DK and Cameron Green up the order, which,
The
yeah.
first 2 or 3 games, if at all he plays, the first 2 or 3 games will be crucial. If he performs, he keeps a place for another 2 or 3 games. If he does not, it will be Anuj Rawat for the rest of the season. It would be simple as
Okay,
that.
okay, you have said that. And Rohan, before I come to you, Kushank said Green either opening or at number three, which makes Patidar good at four, Maxwell at five, and either of Dika or Anuj Rawat at six. That's my first question, and then I'll come to the lower order. What if you get somebody like a Mitchell Stark and Karthik Tyagi in the two question marks? How does it look like?
I mean, that's what even I want. Cambrine has to bat at the top three itself, or else it'll be not easy for him to get going in Indian conditions and quality spinners. I think he has that power and reach to capitalize the power play at the start of the innings. Patitar again has a fantastic SMAT as well as Vijayasar. And also in the Indian team for the ODIs was South Africa coming up. So Patitar's adaptability at number four will be more useful. Maxwell, I think Maxwell or DK or Anuj, I think they'll be floating around there as and when the team required, they can just fit in there and go there, big hitting fireworks that we are used to them. I think that will be the batting order that should start ahead for at least first few games. The question marks that you said, Karthik Tyagi and Stark, if we do get, I think that will be the best thing that we could afford with the budget that we have. But I'm not so sure about Starkey there. Others, Mind Daga can be a guy who can chip in a little bit. Karan Sharma, again, not sure whether to start with. We may go with the other guy whomever we pick in the auction, the leg spinner. Hopefully, that's what RCB generally look for. Siraj, I think he can stay where he is, and everyone can play around him. That's it.
Okay, and Deepust agrees with both of you guys, says that best batting lineup, according to me, just that deciding the batting order will be a headache. It's just because of Cameron Green, agrees as well. And he also says that even though the batting boasts of overseas flavor, this batting lineup is wild, maybe more than 2017 season. So is this batting lineup more threatening than the past seasons? Is what Deepu says. Do you agree with this, Rohan?
I mean, that time we had one guy who was the entire team itself, man. AB de Villiers, nobody can match that guy, man. I mean, you add all these six people up, ABD something else. The Mr. 360 is a guy on his own. You can't match him. Yes, someone like a Maxi, uh, if he gets going, he can be equally dangerous. But problem with him is his over enthusiasm at times. He himself gets himself out rather than a bowler or the fielder team getting him out. So at times, curbing his natural instinct can be slightly tricky for him. But AB could manage that easily, and he had that. Belief within himself, from any situations he could get you a win, right? And same with the opposition, then you, as long as ABD is there, the game's not done yet. So that's a long way for us to go. Yes, powerful it is now, but again, if they play to their potential at the right time, I think this will be a team that can go forward.
Okay, and coming to Kushank, Rohan said just about 360. What about 175? How much do you miss him, man?
Yeah, I mean, these are all old memories I do not want to relive. These are players who form the core of this team, the reason I fell in love with this team. But that's in the past. We can't really do a lot about it. Again, a historical player, everyone loves the man. So yeah, he did do a lot for the team, but now I think we've got to make hay with what we have. And again, a good batting lineup, there is no doubt about it. If they, as Rohan said, perform to their potentials, 200 would be an everyday thing for us. But then to defend it would be another job. So that is what we need to do this time around. Go into the auction with a good mindset and get a good few bowlers so that we can genuinely perform up to potential and probably get into the qualifiers again and hopefully go a few steps further this time.
Okay, you just said what would be my last question is that what would be your plan into the auction? You said don't look into the batting lineup, just improve the bowling team, and we are strong enough to win the title in 2024 season. Rohan, you also agree with us. So that concludes our session, day 8 of the Action Auction 2024. I'll come to Kushank first. How does it feel? How was it the past 45 minutes to be part of this show?
Yeah, but as I said, an absolute pleasure to be representing the team and to talk about cricket is always fun. And yeah, it was a good chat. We've looked at a few things, and I hope RCB does what the fans want them to do. And hopefully, we win our first title. I'll not say the quote because feel it is a bad omen. I'll just leave it there, and I hope we do well.
Okay, any
You should
additions,
not have
subtractions,
reminded
Rohan?
me. I was
Absolutely,
just
and
about
Rohan.
hoping we are doing a show without that quote ever being coming up.
Absolutely, yes, that's true. That and Rohan, once again, as I said before in the introduction as well, familiar face. You have already been part of this show before, and first time representing RCB. How was it, and how was the past 46 minutes for you?
Fantastic, man. As Kushank said, you discuss cricket. That's what everybody in India loves, right? Irrespective of which franchise you support, a team, whatever. End of the day, you want cricket to be entertainment here. That's what IPL is, and you want domestic talent to come up. That's one of the key factors why IPL was there. Talent meets opportunities. The motto always. So you want talent youngsters to come up and represent Team India as whatever bunch that's coming up. The under 90 that someone mentioned, the guy there, but or you want local talents to come up, it'll benefit their own personal life as well. So IPL is a platform where all the dreams do come true, and as Kushank said, that dream of the title is eluding for the millions of fans that RCB fan has on social media and everywhere. I think it's high time these people get rewarded for the support that they've been doing for the past continuous so many years. Hope this MI deal that's happened contributes a little bit to it.
Absolutely, that's true. That and let's see what play bold team RCB does in the auctions, and also we're looking forward. You cannot ignore this team because they always produce great cricket in the 24 years, but it happens. It happens. What happens at the end of the day? Results is what matters to everyone, and we wish them all the best. Thank you so much, both of you. It was a wonderful show. As I said, I'm never bored with good people who speak good, and it has been throughout the entire Action Auction season. I'm loving each and every guest that are coming. Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you to all the people who were in the comment section as well. Your comments are always valuable. We discuss a lot of things, and the show always goes on. As you guys said, tomorrow is the second T20. Fingers crossed the rain doesn't look good again in the second T20 as well. But let's see if we can get a little bit of cricket tomorrow. And then day after tomorrow, it's two teams left, and it's another popular team, and I think it's the second most popular in the IPL. It's the Chennai Super Kings. It's the men in yellow. Day after tomorrow, it's Action Auction Day 9. Don't forget to tune in at 9 p.m. I'll definitely let you guys know. Till then, thank you so much and good night. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire.